Alright guys, I thought I would just do a quick update to my Wander character I've been playing. I haven't made this build, it's not something I've theory crafted or done something like that. I'm just following a guide off the forums and I thought I'd just show you what I'm up to. From farming the lab, we've spent most of our currency and we've managed to pick up this lot of gear. A 5-link Queen of the Forest, Abiscos, some resist rings, and I've chucked on some lightning damage, some thunder fists to give me like a kind of 5-link for Val Power Siphon, which is probably my favourite skill in the game. Just a belt, some Zeri boots for a bit of dodge and move speed. Esh's mirror gives added lightning damage for each shocked enemy you've killed. Whilst mapping, it sort of all ranks up, or racks up should I say, and it sort of gives like a decent amount of damage. The big one is the Tempest Binding. I think I bought this for like 170c. I don't think it's down. I think it's down now a lot. Also, I managed to enchant Spark Speed on it. Don't know if that's good or not. Gonna try and get Kinetic Blast or Barrage or something on the helmet in the lab. Probably never happen. That's pretty much it. I'm a Pathfinder. I use flasks and we kind of just blast maps. I'm level 86. We've got a few passive points to go. Things like a power charge maybe, another headhunter jewel, power charge here, some jewels, some flash nodes, some crit nodes somewhere here. That's kind of what we're doing. Apparently I need to get to level 97 for all that. Probably not going to be able to do that because the build's super squishy. The reason I'm playing it is I like playing Wander builds, and I like Val Power Siphon, so the two matched up well. It's only just today started to work. Yesterday from like 70 to level 85, it just, even with all this money spent on it, it had no damage. Maybe it's just gem levels, maybe it's just the point blank node I took, but yesterday it started to work, so I thought I'd show it. We have a couple of options. What we've been doing basically is if we're just in a low level map, which is tier 10 or below, I just put on some golden boots for quantity, some Sedima's Touch for quantity, and because these are just resist rings, you could also put on some Venter's Gambles and Abiscos, and you can just run around and blast some stuff. So we'll show you what the build looks like, because I thought that's what I'd do. Pretty much, we've got a Kinetic Blast, GMP, Elemental, and Pierce, and it's in this helmet, which gives us like a 6-link. And you pretty much just run around pressing all of your pots, and the stuff gets like shattered and chained. And it's just pretty much a run around build. I don't know how like what level of content this build can do, but at the moment I'm just doing like low level maps and leveling up, gem level and stuff like that. So if you press Val Power Siphon like here, you can see it like calls things. It's kind of unnecessary, but it looks cool. Could put like Orb of Storms, power charge on crit, something like that. Even a Blood Rage to whack on for frenzy charges or attack speed or something. You could do all those kind of things. But basically what I've been doing is just running around and smacking all my pots with Pathfinder, and then going through easy maps with a bit of item quantity, and just blasting through maps trying to find currency. The build, I don't know how good it is. I don't know, like we say, how well it scales. People have said they've killed all the content in the game with it. It's an expensive build, so I'd hope so. But there are moments where you lack a lot of damage. Like now, you can see now, like, that damage was okay. But for like 10 plus levels, it was horrendous. So I guess, whoa. So stuff like that, you can see. It's not the safest build. I don't think you'll be going to like 97 like that guy's guide. Maybe you could do a couple of different things. This is just a build for fun mapping. So you can see like sometimes I pick up some headhunter mods. I need to buy another jewel. These inspired learning jewels. These basically give you one mod off a rare. So I'll have 2 of those. That should work. And I could always remove these, put in just life, resist attack speed, get a jewel socket here, dual socket here, so I could have like a lot more increased life. I could probably get to like 4.5k, get some more on my belt maybe. Could look at maybe stretching 5k, but for the moment I'm at 4.2 and it's pretty squishy, but it's just a build to play when I'm bored of the lab. And I don't know, I thought I'd just show what I'm up to really. There's nothing too fancy about the build. Pretty much it's just everyone's using a Pescata's wand these days. I used 2 of these for like the longest time. Where are they? These obliteration wands, pretty much leveled with them. Sort of just chaining off things, and that's what was going on. But again, if we just show you like the maps, pretty much it's just something to play whilst I'm not in the lab. I just wanted a fast build that I could just maybe chuck some item quantity on, blow up some bosses. It's pretty good at maps like this where it's in a big corridor, but again, it doesn't have the best boss killing damage. Probably need to level up gems, get more lightning damage on attacks, maybe in an empower for my wrath, these type of things. Where are the monsters at? But I thought I'd just show what I'm up to. I've ended up using a strict loot filter because you actually get a lot of crap. I don't know if it's placebo about the Biscos, but I do feel like I am getting a bit more drops with it. Maybe not good drops, but I do feel like I'm getting more stuff. And eventually more stuff, you've got a higher chance of getting something good. Maybe it's just placebo, I don't know. It's a pretty expensive build. Your flasks cost like 200 chaos for your Vinctors, because apparently that's what Vinctors costs now. Although it's not really necessary, to be honest. Your Harbinger that you spawn here pretty much gives you shock anyway, but he doesn't give as much leech, so I guess there's that. But what it's doing right now, this blasting white mobs, you can do that without the flask. You don't need the Dying Sun, and you don't need the Vinctors to do what this is doing now. Like, I won't use them now, and it still blasts everything just fine. It's just on the bosses, the extra projectiles helps for barrage. And I think Harbinger's got a buff here, so they spawn more quickly. It's actually nice. There's been a patch today. Harbingers spawn more quickly, and I think these drop more stacks and less crap, so that's cool. Don't know how long I'll end up playing this build, where I'll take it. Like I say, it's kind of expensive for what it does, but I just wanted to play a Wander. I know Mathel's done a build, his build probably does more damage and it's cheaper, but fuck it, I thought I'd try this one out. It was on the forums called Tempest Wander or something, and I'm enjoying it. You can see like now, if we go in on the boss, yesterday this boss was killing me over and over. If we go in with charges up and we press all our pots, you can see like, yeah, it's a little level 71 boss, but it does get killed off. But you can see even there, it almost kills me with like one attack, so it is a little bit sketchy. But it's pretty good at what it does, blasting some maps, and I'm enjoying it. Today we're probably just going to level up, and then we're going to have to go back in the lab. Need to buy, basically what I need to buy is a 6 link, which is like 500 chaos. So I'll try and make some chaos. Probably better rings. Another like 50c headhunter jewel, although they're purely for fun, you don't need to get them. What else do we need to get? Empower level 3, something like that. That's probably like 50 chaos. I got this enlightened gem. This really does nothing. I bought it for 50 chaos and it gives me like 20 mana. Probably when I get an empower I'll notice the difference, but at the moment that was a wasted purchase. Have a Queen of the Forest here that we've been trying to link. No luck. That's pretty much what's been going on. Show you a race course to end on. Temp chains, we don't want that. But it's a bit different to the lab build. because the lab build's really fun, but it cannot map. Like it's never going to be able to map like this build. So I just made a second one, and we're seeing how far we can take it. I'd like to get it to fill out the atlas. I think if I keep scaling it, it will, maybe not deathless, but I will be able to kill maybe tier 15 bosses. Something like that. Gonna end up going back. Figured out that you run this in like a figure of 8, and it's not completely aids to run. Somebody wants to buy a Last Hope card. I will in a minute, mate. But yeah, this is what the build does. You sprint along, you can blast monsters, press all your pots, Val Power Siphon. It looks cool. Don't know if it's the most efficient. Certainly is way too expensive for what it does currently, but hopefully it scales. You can see like yesterday these bosses were like deleting me, as people know, but now whatever I've done for the build, it's kind of working and stuff's dying. You can see like a fair amount of stuff drops. Just happens to be that basically it's a bit expensive, but that's fine because I farmed the lab and made a lot of currency, so the plan paid off. Farm the lab for currency, make a build that is fun. Might not be efficient, it might be, for the damage it does, too expensive. There are cheaper builds out there that do more, but for what it is, I'm enjoying it. I think I left some monsters back here, but yeah, I probably need to roll flasks a little bit better. I'm meant to drop this life flask, I think, for an evasion flask. Not sure about that. I think with 0 life flasks, it's a bit too sketchy, but it's not bad. I'll say that and die now. The only bad thing I'd say about this build is the single target for a long time. But more importantly, like when you're mapping and killing stuff and getting frenzy charges and power charges, when I go in on a boss, I don't have any of those things. So it becomes a little bit sketchy to kill stuff in long drawn out fights. But for people that have watched me play, they know I like one builds. So I thought, I'll treat myself, I'll do an expensive one build. Because I mean, I sat and farmed the lab for a long time. It's not like I got a lucky drop or something. So if you want to make the build, you can do. I'd probably say you need like what I've got now to get the build going without the dying sun. So you're probably going to need like maybe like 300 chaos or something like that. 400. But it's not a beginner build for sure. You can level it as a beginner though. I leveled it with just some cheap one-handed, of course ones are one-handed, some cheap 1C ones. And the build really does, I guess you can change it. You can run around with quantity gear on, or you can run around with extra life jewels and actual correct gear rather than venters and gold rims and stuff like that. I don't even know if rarity's worth it. I don't think it is. I think it's better just to do high level maps faster than sit in low level maps and magic find. But it's just a different playstyle. Each league I tried to do a different playstyle, because otherwise you just end up doing the same thing over and over again, and no matter how efficient or fun it is, eventually it becomes boring to me. Like this league, I'm not really interested in farming Shaper. I've killed Shaper a lot. It like doesn't really interest me. To some people, killing Shaper might be everything. They might make a character with the set goal of, you know, reaching Shaper, but that's not for me really at the moment. I'm enjoying doing this. Farming the lab, hanging out with chat and seeing what we get from the Uber Lab boxes, and then after a bit just coming on and blasting some maps. So it's kind of a rambly video. There's not really much point to this video. I just thought I'd give an update to people that are wondering what I'm doing. Because a few people pop in and they say like, oh, you're not running the lab. What are you doing? Well, this is kind of what I'm doing. Making a really expensive rubbish build. It was really bad until like yesterday. I was really tempted to re-roll, but I just had no damage on single target. I don't even know what's changed to make it work. I think it's just purely levels or something, and the point blank node. So we'll test our damage on this person. This is always a good test. Where is it? You see, when you've got no charges, you see what I mean? When you have no charges, the damage can just become a little bit underwhelming. If you've got charges, it's great. If not, it kind of sucks. Anyway, we'll probably end it there because otherwise I'm just going to be rambling. But I thought that's what I'd say. That's what I'm up to. Blasting some maps. We've done this mission, we can leave. But yeah, that's what I'm up to. That's why I'm not in the lab.